And we are rolling on November 7th, 2017. The day that Brian Boxer Wachtler will come, a former debater in 1988, who will share with us some insights from his new book, which many of you will find insightful. So now let's turn our attention to Celia. Who, what?
Ciela.
Oh, Ciela. Don't call me Celia. Ciela, who's going to enlighten us on the question, will Trump's plan to bring back jobs in coal be effective at countering the market forces moving jobs away from fossil fuels? Coal, fossil fuels. Do I have someone besides this? We have another Apple user time? Good, thank you. Okay, begin.
Did you know that according to an Energy Department analysis released in January of this year, that coal mining now accounts for fewer than 75,000 U.S. jobs, whereas jobs in renewable energy accounts for more than 650,000 U.S. jobs? So you might be asking yourself, why does President Trump want to bring back jobs in coal when there are so many job opportunities in renewable energy? And although I don't really have the answer to that, today I will be addressing why I do not believe his plan will be effective in bringing back jobs in coal and countering the market forces moving jobs away from fossil fuels. And I have 3 reasons for that. First, companies must satisfy their consumers and meet the demands of their investors. Second, New York Times reported in 2017 that our nation is too far gone in the direction of renewable energy. And third, the cost of natural energy is far less of a burden both environmentally and financially compared to the burning of coal and fossil fuels. Global warming is not a hoax. The actions that are taken today directly affect you and the world you live in. If our nation continues to follow President Trump's administration, the world we know it will no longer be, or your grandkids will no longer know the life you once lived. So my first point, the reason why I believe President Trump will not be effective in countering the movement towards renewable energy is because companies know they must satisfy their consumers and their investors. Both customers and shareholders alike expect power plants to continue to move in the direction of clean renewable energy because they understand the foreseeable consequences. In 2017, the New York Times explains that even some utilities that did not support the Clean Power Plan say they will continue to make long-term investments to meet the consumers' demands, which in many states includes a greener energy mix. The second reason why I believe President Trump's plan will not be effective is because energy plants are too far gone, meaning they have spent the last few years under Obama's administration investing in renewables and getting rid of their infrastructures that emit fossil fuels. So why take 2 steps back when you can continue moving forward to a cleaner, carbon-free future? In March of this year, The Economist stated that in 2006, coal generated 49% of America's electricity, and in 2015, that number dropped to 30%. So that 19% decrease is only one statistic that proves how effective the Clean Power Plan was and can continue to be. And lastly, I believe President Trump will not be effective his plan will not be effective, is because the cost of natural energy is less of a financial and environmental burden compared to the burning of fossil fuels. In 2017, Hal Harvey, who advises major companies on climate change and energy policy, noted that thanks to technological advances, the cost of solar energy has dropped 80%. Wind costs have dropped more than 50%, battery costs more than 70%, and LED lighting costs more than 90%, all since 2008. So, a clean future now costs less than a dirty one. and these prices will only continue to decrease throughout the next few years. Analyzed by Bloomberg New England Finance, in 2017, it is said that solar costs will drop another 2/3. Onshore winds will cut nearly in half, and offshore winds costs will drop 71%. In summary, I have explained the 3 reasons I do not believe the Trump administration will be effective in countering the movement towards renewable energy with bringing back jobs in coal. As knowledgeable citizens and consumers, we know that a clean energy is a must. Companies have also dedicated time and funds that it makes little to no sense why they would throw it all away. And lastly, the benefits and low cost of natural energy outweigh the environmental and financial consequences of burning fossil fuels. So, although I'm unsure as why President Trump only sees global warming as a job-crushing regulation, the people of our nation and beyond should understand the consequences if proper action is not taken. In 2017, federal data shows that the number of jobs in coal were already on a decline under presidents of both parties due to the competition natural gas is providing. With the amount of scientific data readily available in this moment and the amount of jobs renewable energy already accounts for in the U.S., there is no reason why we should need to bring back jobs in coal. And to end, former VP Al Gore stated that it is essential not only to our planet but also to our economic future that the U.S. continues to serve as a global leader in solving the climate crisis by transitioning to clean energy, a transition that will continue to gain speed due to the increasing consequences or competitiveness of solar and wind. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very nice. Could you move back to the brown square you were
Sorry,
supposed to not come in front of? Yeah, thank you.
5:15.
5:15. Very nice. Okay, let's start over here. Do we always start with you?
No, we don't.
Okay.
I am Angela.
Hi, Angela.
So
What'd you like?
I liked that she had all her sources stated for all her research, and she did thorough research for each point that she provided, and also the way she spoke was like welcoming to me to listen.
Yes. Every one of her assertions were documented, so the arguments from authority were all there, and they were good authorities, weren't they? With the exception of Al Gore. Just kidding. And how could she improve?
Hi, my name is Anita.
Hi, Anita.
Yeah, like they said, it was really good. It flowed nicely. But maybe like kind of slowing it a little bit or cutting out some points just to reduce it a little bit, and so it could, there could be like kind of pauses in between instead of just like going through the whole thing all at once and giving them all the information. But other than that, it was really good. And yeah, you spoke really well as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Anita. Well, let's take a look first at your question. Hands out of your pocket. Stay in the power stance. Your question says, will President Trump's plan to bring back jobs in coal be effective at countering the market forces, moving jobs away from fossil fuels? And clearly you made the case that it's not going to be able to counter the market forces moving jobs away from fossil fuel. You made that case rather clearly. The sort of the bird in the coal house, or whatever metaphor you want to use, is the transitional question of what do we use in the meantime until we get these so-called alternative energy sources up to speed, the batteries and everything up to speed so they work at night, the wind so that it works when the wind's not blowing, and so forth. And the answer, of course, is natural gas, which is getting cheaper and cheaper, especially through fracking. So counting the market forces moving away from fossil fuel, it's truly are moving away from fossil fuel, but but not as fast as this question assumes they are. So you opened with a really impressive quote about how few jobs are in the private sector of coal. And I would have liked a tie back of more a mention of those 75 jobs. Specifically, going to be even fewer, but you did tie back to the jobs in the end, and that was good. Thank you for addressing the president as President Trump. Your position was made very clear. You even quoted the New York Times for your thesis statement, which was really impressive and good. Your significant statement, global warming is not a hoax, and dangerous effects, our grandkids will kiss life goodbye, maybe a little overstated, maybe a little of scaremongering, but that's what power stance people do to get people's attention when they're trying to make a persuasive case. Your first reason is consumers and investors, and part of what he's trying to do is play to his base in these places where he got some votes, but those are clearly pretty quickly evaporating for other reasons too. And your second reason of energy plans, they've already gone too far, and they know companies see the writing on the wall, and even if they are going to transition, they're still 20%, which is pretty big still, but they're not going to be any new ones. They're going to keep that 20%. It's not going to go up. You're absolutely right. The question is going to be how quickly will the natural gas ones be phased out, and that we didn't talk about, wasn't really part of your discussion, so correctly you didn't talk about it, so that was fine. Yeah, and I liked your 30% and the 19% decrease, how effective the Clean Power Plan Act was. That was a very good statistic. You did a very good job with your research and marshaling your statistics to make your case on all three of your points. So that was really excellent. I was really very impressed. You used the... Thank you for not talking. Appreciate it. You used the Chicago style of footnoting, and yet you still introduced you introduced Bloomberg, you introduced Hal Harvey and said who he was and so forth. So that was all excellent. You really grabbed the bull by the horns when you took on President Trump and said he may say they're job-crushing regulations, but the new jobs are really in the new sector, and there's not going to be that many jobs from these new coal mines that are coming back. So it's silly. You did have one quote that talked about the competition that natural gas is providing. So, and your tie back I already talked about. Let's talk about your canais. Try to do it without notes. Stand in the power stance. Avoid crossing my legs, and talk fluently without pauses. How did it go?
Did not do it without notes. That's a goal for next time.
Yeah.
I didn't cross my legs during the speech, so that's good. And I think I talked too fast, but as I continued to rehearse it, it was always over that 5-minute mark.
Yeah.
So I thought about taking information out, but I don't know. I was just in this battle between if I took information out, I wasn't
Gonna make your
citing
point,
everything,
yeah.
but then if I don't take information out, I just have to talk really fast to like get it within the time zone. So hopefully I like
Yeah.
find the even balance next time.
Okay, yeah, it's difficult, I know, but I think you did a pretty good job. The consensus and the feedback from the rest of the class was it was a little fast, and so you're going to have to work with that and know that some people consider you a fast talker, and you're going to have to. One solution is to start slow and to pick up the pace, and then to work in some pauses and some slowdowns and crucial points of your evidence, and that will make your quick pace when you go pretty quickly to be a little more palatable. But really excellent job. Thank you so much. Okay, are you ready to whisper? Oh, you can't whisper. Okay, good. So that's it on number 1. No more number 1s. Okay, number 2. Okay, let me go to the roll sheet.
You have like 10 minutes left for like.
Oh, 10 minutes left. Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I just forgot all about my camera battery, but you keep an eye on it too, huh? We're going to be slow on batteries tonight because the battery you stuck in died in like 40 minutes, bizarrely, and it erased everything. So that was a bummer. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, where's the roll sheet? Penny Dermagian, Pauline. That's Pauline.
Yeah, sure.
That's how you spell Pauline. P-A-U. P-A-U-I-N-E.
P-A-U-L. Sorry, my L is not.
That's an L?
Yeah.
Okay, Pauline. And I called you Duke Magian. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
It's all good. Thank you.
I
Thank you.
just feel
The
like I'm
perils of Pauline.
Nervous, so I just brought this.
Doesn't mean you're a bad person.
Okay, so I might need to reach for it.
Okay, well, reach if you have to reach. Don't reach if you don't have to reach. Pauline, don't come in front of the brown square if you can help it. Let me see. Yeah. Can you put that blind up just a little bit further?
Up?
Yeah, up. Yeah, you need a little more light. Yeah, that's better. Thank you. And stand over in the center, right where the cord is. One that way. Right there. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Pauline stands before us, managing attention, communicating respect, finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name, feel the love. And Pauline, before I get you to start, as so you'll all be on the same page, is going to address the question, why are major retailers like Macy's not flourishing in good economic times? I repeat, why are major retailers like Macy's not flourishing in good economic times?
Hello, everybody. My name is Pauline Demergian, and before I get started,
Hi, Pauline.
hello. How many of you guys have an Amazon account? Show of hands. Okay, so like almost everyone. How many of you have like a Macy's or JCPenney membership? So very few of you. This is very expected. According to bankruptcy data, between January and June of 2017, 345 retail stores have filed for bankruptcy. This is a 32% increase from last year.
Also, CNN claims that as of, or until June 20th of this year, 3,500 stores have closed down, making it the second worst year for stores closing down to the 6-month era since 2008, which was the Great Recession. And
2017 is what's going to happen in 2017.
And in 2017 is poised to easily surpass the Great Recession date.
Excellent.
So it makes sense that in deep recession, it makes sense that retails can be compromised. However, in the past 8 years, the GDP has been growing. Employment rate is under 5%, and gas prices are low. So what's going on? What's going on with these retailers? Well, today I want to answer the question that why are major retailers like Macy's not flourishing when in good economic times? I want to answer this in 3 ways. Number 1, it's the rise of e-commerce. Number 2, there has been a significant shift of consumer habits. And number 3, the United States is over-retailed. This is significant because the change in shopping habits has significantly restructured our economy and the basis of which it thrives, and how consumerism basically is now running the economy. So my first reason as to why I believe that major retailers such as Macy's are not flourishing in economic times is because of e-commerce. There's something introduced called the Amazon effect that the TechTarget technology defines as an ongoing evolution and disruption in the retail economy, both in physical outlets and online. And this disruption is largely due to e-commerce, or the increasing e-commerce. The name is an acknowledgement of Amazon's early and ongoing domination of online shopping. Sean Novak and Maureen Mueller of New York's think tank Luxury Labs say that Amazon is revolutionizing retailers.
What are they replacing? The brick and mortar. So what's your second reason?
They're replacing it. And so they've introduced things like Amazon Prime, and Prime has managed to restructure how a consumer purchases, or their purchasing habits, and restructure their purchasing habits by effectively removing the elements that physical stores capitalize on, such as no shipping or returning fees, and immediacy. The second reason why I believe that retailers are not flourishing when the economy is because the United States is simply over-retailed. A 46.6 square feet, at 46.6 square feet, America has the largest retail square footage per capita in the world. And in the past few years, there has been a 5 to 6 time more increase in retail space than there has in retail revenue, says the real estate development. So store space is growing faster than the revenue is. The third and last reason why I believe that stores like Sears and JCPenney and Macy's, they're not flourishing, but the economy is because consumer habits have significantly changed. Today's post-Great Recession consumer is deleveraging, paying off debt, spending money on new necessities such as mobile phones that may not have been a priority 10 years ago. For example, in 2006, barely anybody had a cell phone. But fast forward 10 years today, almost everyone has a cell phone. And just to look at rising revenue in the last 10 years, it rose from $38 billion to $89 billion. And Verizon's market share is about 30%, so this is about a $150 billion increase just spent towards wireless services. So, in summary, I have shown you 3 reasons why I believe that large retailers are not flourishing when the economy is. Number 1, e-commerce is a more sustainable retail format. Number 2, there has been a shift in consumer habits. And number 3, there are too many stores generating fewer sales per square foot. So, just quickly, who in here pays the additional $79 a month for an Amazon Prime? A lot of people. And how many people don't pay anything for like a free JCPenney membership? So the internet knows what it's doing. Thank you. I had this speech memorized, I promise you.
Oh, you're supposed to have warned me, my